And so here we get to the word problems. Some of you guys might have just jumped right to this video because I know word problems can cause anxiety and stress, and we kind of have trouble knowing where to start, especially in one like this where there's not even a function given. We've got to kind of pick apart the situation to see what's going on. So basically we have a situation where we've got two smartwatches, and in the question we find out that the Versa has a battery that can last for 4 days, and the Versa Elite can last for 5 days. All right. And then we see here that, and we got to be careful. So I'm going to keep the same highlighting kind of paradigm for each one. So Jane has a Versa, and that has a charge of 45%. So I'm going to highlight that in blue because that's the Versa. And the Versa Elite is Cassandra, and she has it currently at 34%. Okay. So I want to draw a graph of the discharging of the two batteries. So I want to draw just kind of like the graph of kind of these batteries, seeing how they discharge. Now, I'm willing to bet most of you guys can recognize that, hey, these are y-intercepts, because at the beginning of the situation, I have 34%. So like, just looking at my two variables right here, I can probably say I'm going to have a t variable for time in days. And I'm going to have I'm just going to call it a b variable for battery percentage. So percentage charge is what I'll call this. And most of you guys probably recognize that, hey, when you as your devices are turned on over time, they're discharging. And so by extension, you guys can probably recognize, okay, this is 0.34 as a point, and that right there is 0.45 as a point. The tricky thing is, though, is to say, Savoy, we don't have any slope explicitly given to us saying, you know, we're losing 10% each day or whatever it is. However, in the question, we can kind of make this connection to say, oh, wait, it takes 4 days for that to discharge, and this one takes 5 days to discharge. Discharge from what percentage? Well, from 100. So if I say 100 divided by 4, that means each day I'm going to lose 25%. That right there, that is my slope. Same thing here, 100 divided by 5, that's going to give me negative 20% each day. Okay, now for those of you kind of like, I know there's going to be students being like, whoa, how is he doing that? Slope is this equation that I've got here. Where did I even plug the numbers in? So let me just kind of do a longer version of it right here and saying, okay, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus, x1. And so I can say, just ignoring the rest of the question, just focusing on the battery, I know they started at 100, and then for one of them, 4 days later, it's going to be empty. So that's 4 comma 0, and this is 0 comma 100. So what I'm essentially doing is saying, okay, 0 minus 100 over 4 minus 0 is going to give me negative 100 over 4, negative 25. Okay, so that's the Versa right there, negative 25 what? Percent per day. Okay, so that's kind of that's what my thinking is as I'm looking at this. And that's the biggest leap we need to make right there. Once we kind of have that figured out, the rest of this question is kind of hunky-dory. So I'm just going to erase this right here. And let's actually start writing it out. So trace a graph of it. So I'm just going to kind of write out this one right here. So one of them is going to start at, let's do the first one, 45%. So 45%. Okay. So this 45%, and it's always easier for me to just write the equations out. So I'm going to say, I'll call it watch A, or B1 of t is going to be equal to, B1 is the Versa, so it loses negative 25% t, and its initial is 45 plus 45, and the Versa Elite loses 20%, and it starts at 34. I'll say this is Versa, and this is Versa Elite. Okay, so let's find out where that t-intercept is, where this is t, time and days, and this is b, the percent charge. Okay, so I'm going to look at b1, and to figure out where that intercepts, I'm going to say 0 is equal to negative 25t plus 45, or negative 45 over negative 25 is equal to t. I'll do the same thing with the other one. So for B2, I'd say 0 is equal to negative 20t plus 34. Negative 34 over negative 20 is equal to t. Okay, and at this point, I would just use a calculator to kind of get what those numbers are. So negative 45 divided by 25. Negative 25 gives me 1.8. T equals 1.8. And then negative 34 divided by 20 gives me a 1.7. T equals 1.7. So this one at 45 is going to discharge after 1.8 days. Kind of like this. And the one at 34 right here discharges at 1.7 days. Kind of like that. That's going to be a straight line, but I struggle. So I've got the graphs traced, I've got drawn, and I've got the equations written in explicit form. And then I've got to see who is going to exceed the amount de Casano Jane by the shelter come on. So I'm going to say, so the Versa Elite actually still discharges 100% before the Versa. So the Versa Elite discharges first. And how much time? By 0.1 of a day. And because we're not using metric yet for our times, but who knows what will happen in the future. But what's 0.1 of a day? Well, a day is 24 hours, so 24 times 0.1 gives me 2.4. So about 2.4 hours before. So the Versa Elite discharges at 10 o'clock, and then 2.4 hours later, the Versa will also be completely emptied. So they end up emptying almost at the same time, but yeah, that's that question. Okay. Anyway, so again, I'll stop the video and I'll resume it for the next page. See you guys in the next one.